Hi there. New Zealand may have escaped the worst of COVID-19, but it certainly hasn't escaped the latest trend to cancel anything or remove something deemed offensive. A joint and unifying press release was issued by the Christchurch City Council and local iwi last week on the statues issue, but you probably wouldn't have seen it much in the media because it talked of a special partnership. It was in fact uplifting. More on that shortly. You see, some in the media have made it their moral duty to ensure New Zealand remains relevant in an overseas news agenda by seeking out inflammatory commentary, no matter how vicious or vacuous the soundbites are. Manufacturing outrage creates a story, but who best does that serve? Don't get me wrong, there are genuine grievances of Māori who have never supported statues of Captain Cook. But we in the media have a duty to separate mob mentality with genuine concerns of racism. Journalists love to talk about the need for an open democracy, but giving platforms to extreme views is hardly responsible and only sparks anger in the minds of reasonable-minded people. Will pulling down statues or changing names of pubs help genuine victims of racism? Or will it bolden those who seek out to exploit people's grievances for vanity reasons? The mob of misfits won't stop at statues, and now that Hamilton's removed its statue, for better or worse, the power has now set in, and no doubt a list is being compiled of monuments to target, egged on by some in the New Zealand media, who will be secretly hoping to film the next vandalised statue. The thought police are pushing another narrative that if you don't buy into the idea that an old statue is contributing to racism, you're a racist yourself. To hell with having a reasonable discussion when quick-fire accusations are easier to level at the person who doesn't share your worldview. Even some in Hollywood have brought into the narrative, the false narrative, that somehow they have to announce to the world their collective white guilt, but that only serves as a disempowering movement. It's narcissistic because it only makes them feel good about themselves by saying they're repenting this hideous history. Look, we in the media, we need to separate the unhinged views of publicity seekers with genuine racism. But the media's agenda to mix the two is dangerous and counterproductive. Māori scholar Safari Hines provided a voice of reason when he appeared on the Hui last year, saying if we put Pākehā and Māori narratives on an equal pegging, that brings people together because that represents both narratives and the bicultural history of this country. And that is exactly what Christchurch City has been doing since the earthquakes, and now as we decide to continue to rebuild. You probably wouldn't have seen it last week, but it was a rather responsible joint press release issued by the Mayor of Christchurch and South Island's largest iwi, Tahu. They showed how to respond to the current climate in a unifying way. They said the Treaty of Waitangi is the founding document of our nation, and it is important that our public statues and monuments reflect the history of mana whenua and the colonial settlements in this region. They went on to say it is entirely appropriate that the statue of Queen Victoria in Victoria Square is now flanked by two upright waka carved by Ngāi Tahu master carver Fane Robinson. They said it is an expression of our partnership that we now have Ngāi Tahu treaty signatories sitting alongside Queen Victoria. And that partnership is now visible in Victoria Square and in fact on many buildings across Christchurch City. But some have said there are different issues in other parts of the country. And that may well be the case, but making excuses for not getting along serves who? Are we going to work together in partnership or cave into a mob mentality? The choice is ours.